Fear is the oldest and strongest of human emotions, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is the fear of the unknown. Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Those who are familiar with Lovecraft's work will immediately recognize one of the most recurring ideas in his stories. When a human being encounters something their mind is incapable of comprehending, they fall into a state of primal terror, a terror born from the presence of ancient gods, beings that existed long before humanity, before life itself. Beings that roam the vast expanses of the universe, influencing the fate of entire worlds. But it is not only these entities that inspire fear. The universe itself terrifies the small and insignificant human standing before it, with everything unknown and incomprehensible that it conceals. Lovecraft's core philosophy, reflected throughout his stories, is known as cosmicism. It asserts that humanity is utterly insignificant on the scale of the universe. The entire human world, and our role within it, is an illusion. Humanity lives inside a fragile bubble of perception, unaware of what lies behind the curtain, or even that such a curtain exists at all. Our apparent dominance over the world is nothing more than self-deception. Perhaps we are fortunate that we do not truly understand what slumbers in the unexplored corners of our own planet, let alone beyond its boundaries. This philosophy reflects the theme of today's video perfectly, because today we are talking about fear, a fear almost intangible, yet deeply resonating within the hearts of countless people. Today we are talking about astrophobia. Astrophobia, like any other phobia, refers to an irrational and uncontrollable fear. In this case, fear of outer space and everything it contains: stars, planets, black holes, extraterrestrial beings. For most people, astrophobia is primarily associated with aliens, and it is easy to see why. Countless works of science fiction, films, books, and series attempt to depict extraterrestrial civilizations, how they might be structured, how they might look, how they might behave. Alongside them exist documentaries, newspaper articles, and magazine stories that some impressionable individuals accept as absolute truth. This is how stories of flying saucers emerged: claims of contact with alien species, accounts of abductions, taken aboard spacecraft for experiments, memories erased afterward, crop circles. All of these originate from the same cultural soil. For sensitive individuals, such narratives can trigger obsessive thoughts, a belief that something similar could happen to them. And this fear often escalates into paranoia. A person becomes convinced that aliens are constantly observing them, influencing them with unknown radiation, or that they may have already been abducted, simply unable to remember it. These are clinical cases of astrophobia, and they undeniably require therapy. However, I want to speak about the fear of space in a much broader sense. Who are extraterrestrials, really? Why do we imagine them as humanoid figures, distorted animals, or insects? Why must extraterrestrials be intelligent? And why should intelligence even resemble our own? These questions reveal a deeper issue: our perception. The human mind struggles to imagine something truly unfamiliar. It builds the unknown from fragments of what it has already seen. We define life based on Earth: breathing, movement, growth, reproduction. These are the criteria we use to label something as alive, but only within our understanding. We search for similar patterns in the infinite void of space, largely to avoid feeling alone. But what is intelligence? Does it require a brain? Or could it exist in forms utterly alien to us? These questions can be asked endlessly, and many of them may never have definitive answers. Humanity is confined by its own perception of reality. Does this not suggest that much of existence remains hidden from us simply because we are human? The more you contemplate this, the clearer it becomes how little you truly know. You are a microscopic fragment, not only within the diversity of life on Earth, but within the cosmos itself. Your life is a fleeting moment compared to how long the universe has existed, and how long it will continue to exist. How many secrets are concealed within this immeasurable dark expanse we call space? Such thoughts inevitably lead to an unsettling idea. Perhaps Lovecraft's ancient gods do exist, and you are merely another character in one of his mad stories. Fear of a cosmic entity we cannot imagine may seem absurd, yet it is another form of astrophobia. We do not know where such a being might be hiding, when we might encounter it, or how such an encounter would end. The fear of the unknown is the foundation of all fear. And within the context of space, it is elevated to an absolute. There is no other realm as unexplored, as cold, as dark, and as infinitely vast. Astrophobia is not limited to fear of aliens alone. It is a complex phenomenon rooted in several related fears. Take, for example, the fear of darkness. Darkness robs us of our primary source of information, vision. And is there any space darker than the cosmos, composed largely of emptiness? Or consider claustrophobia, the fear of confined spaces. On Earth, being trapped still leaves hope for rescue. But imagine being sealed inside a spacecraft cabin you cannot escape. Beyond its walls lies nothing but a lifeless vacuum, where survival beyond a minute is impossible. Add space to the equation, and anxiety multiplies. Or imagine the opposite. You are floating alone in open space, wearing a spacesuit. Thousands of kilometers of emptiness surround you. No one nearby, no one to help. Your oxygen supply is slowly running out, and you do not know how much time remains before your lifeless body drifts endlessly through the void. This is no longer confinement, yet the sensation mirrors claustrophobia, with infinity replacing walls. A closely related fear is thalassophobia, fear of deep bodies of water. Not water itself, but the dark, unknown depths of oceans. We know no more about the ocean floor than we do about deep space. What creatures await us there? How dangerous might they be? Now imagine yourself floating on the surface of an endless ocean. Water stretches for kilometers. No land, no ships. The isolation is just as terrifying as drifting through space. Continuing the discussion of astrophobia, we arrive at something more tangible. Beyond the unknown, what humans fear most is death. And space, alongside its beauty, carries death and destruction. Throughout Earth's history, countless catastrophes have occurred, many influenced by cosmic forces, meteor impacts, for example. The idea that you might be killed not by illness or accident, but by an object descending from space with enough power to destroy civilization itself is profoundly unsettling. The universe has many tools of destruction. A gamma-ray burst, released by a massive star or the collision of black holes, could strip away Earth's ozone layer. Our own sun could unleash a solar storm powerful enough to disable most of our technology. In a world entirely dependent on electricity, the consequences are difficult to overstate. I often use words like infinite, vast, and enormous when speaking about space. Let's talk about scale. There exists a fear known as megalophobia, the fear of large objects. On Earth, this might be massive trees or gigantic creatures like whales. But space elevates this fear to an absolute. Consider Earth itself. Its equator spans roughly 40,000 kilometers. Walking that distance non-stop at 6 kilometers per hour would take 278 days. Walking only 6 hours per day would take nearly 3 years. Now compare Earth to Neptune, then Neptune to Jupiter. Earth disappears. Compare Jupiter to the Sun. The scale defies comprehension. And yet our Sun is small compared to other stars. The point is clear. The universe operates on scales the human mind was never meant to grasp. Earth feels large to us. It is our home, but in cosmic terms, it is insignificant. Even familiar celestial objects are negligible within the vastness of the universe. And that terrifies me, because space is both horrifying and beautiful. It hides countless dangers and mysteries. Yet it also reveals breathtaking wonders. And humanity, against all odds, can observe, study, and describe them. And that somehow amazes me just as much. Thank you to everyone who watched this video until the end. I'll see you very soon.